evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. The regular meeting for the Board of Trustees for the Spring Independent School District is officially called to order on Tuesday, April 9th, 2024, and the time is now 7 o'clock p.m. Trustees present are Trustee Adams, Trustee Correa, Trustee Hodges, Trustee Durant, Trustee Jensen, Trustee Newhouse, and Trustee McDaniel. I'd like to ask everyone to please silence or turn off any of your electronic devices. That includes me. At this time, the Trustee Board Equity Committee lead, Natasha McDaniel, will begin the meeting by reading the Spring ISD Equity Statement.
Thank you, President Durant. Spring Independent School District strongly believes in educational and racial equity as fundamental aspects of its core mission and purpose, embodied through any program, practice, decision, or action that affects all students, with a strategic focus on those choices and policies that most strongly impact marginalized students. We believe all students, regardless of their ability, cognitive, physical, or social, emotional, ethnicity, language, race, religion, gender identity, and status, should have equitable access to opportunities, resources, support systems, and educational rigor in order to maximize their academic success and social emotional well-being. We believe every Spring Independent School District student is valuable and possesses individual strengths and characteristics that make our district a great place to learn and grow. Moreover, we seek to act on that belief, instituting policies and practices that value diversity, committing ourselves as a district to continue growth and development, and working to support the success of every student in all that we do.
Thank you, Trustee McDaniel. Tonight's presentation of colors will be led by the Spring Leadership Academy Color Guard. The pledges will be led by the LOTC Color Guard member, Cadet Zion Williams. The Color Guard member carrying the U.S. flag is Bravo Platoon Leader, Cadet Sidney Griner. Carrying the Texas flag is Cadet Zamari Mendoza. The Front Rifle Guard is Cadet Harry Shaden. And the Rear Rifle Guard is Cadet Brenda Lagarza. The Spring Leadership Academy Color Guard instructors are Rodney Simpson, Dante Ricardo, and Roosevelt Wilson. At this time, will everyone please rise for the presentation of colors?
Color Guard, attention. Port. Arms. Forward. March. Mark time. March. Coach turn. March.
Please stand for the pledge. As you were, please join for the Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas Pledge.
Present. Arms.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now for the Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Port.
If you could please remain standing. And if everyone can quietly observe a moment of silence in your own way. Thank you. You may be seated. Our next item is the superintendent's remarks. So we will now hear from our superintendent of schools, Dr. Lapita Hinojosa.
Thank you, Ms. Durant. First and foremost, I know you've seen all of our social media. Just want to remind everyone out there that we are in our pre-K kindergarten roundup. We are really focusing on our pre-K students. Did you all know that in Spring ISD, pre-K students have the highest attendance? They are amazing, and I believe that our pre-K students are receiving the highest quality of education because of their teachers. And so what we call our pre-K roundup has started, and I just want to invite everyone to make sure that if you have a little brother, your son, your daughter, nephew, grandbaby that will be 4 years old, begin on or before September 1st, and you live in Spring ISD, we want you to live in Spring ISD, we are inviting you to sign up. You know, all the sign on is happening now, so sign up with Spring ISD, bring your 4-year-old to Spring ISD. The only requirement is that the students be 4 years old on September 1st and that you live in Spring ISD, because thank you to our board and their vision, we do offer tuition-free pre-K. So everyone that lives in Spring ISD, you're 4 years old, on or before September 1st, come on over. We have about 2,000 students in our pre-K program, and I've challenged the pre-K teachers. We'd like 2,250 for next year. So we are recruiting now, so come on over. And I know that as you're looking in the audience, you see some young ladies with some big crowns on their head. And this tells you that it is time for our annual Tri-Club Livestock Show, and it's coming up this weekend. Actually, things begin moving. Well, they've been working on this project for a very long time, but we will start off on Thursday with some exhibitions. As I look out in the audience, I not only see the students, but I see a lot of the families that are here, a lot of their teachers that are here, also our CTE advisory board. If you will stand, before I do my announcements, if you'll please stand and be recognized. Family members, students, teachers, Tri-Club board members, if you'll stand, and we want to recognize you. Come on. Thank you. I know, and we have CTE specialists that are also here. We want to recognize you. And so, as I've been sharing with all of you, this is a time that we get to showcase our students' work who are involved either in the Future Farmers of America, the FFA, the Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America, and Spring 4-H. So at this time, I'd like to invite to the podium the queen of the 2024 Tri-Club Livestock Show to bring some remarks. And with her, we'll have our queen, which is Lila King from Spring FFA. FFA, she's a senior. Our junior queen is Savannah Ellis from Dekaney, also an FFA senior. And we have our princess, which is Kaylee Graff, Spring 4-H junior SFFA, 4th grade from Hirsch Elementary. So take it away, ladies.
Hello, everyone. My name is Layla King. I'm a senior at Spring High School. I'm the Spring FFA president and this year's Spring Livestock Show Fair queen.
Hello, I'm I'm Savannah Ellis. I am a senior at Decaney High School, and I'm a part of the Decaney FFA.
Hello, I am Kylie Graff. I am a 4th grader at Hirsch Elementary, and I am this year's Fair Apprentice for Spring ISD. Spring ISD.
Okay. We are here today to talk to you about the 2024 Spring Livestock Show and Fair. The Spring Livestock Show, formerly known as Tri-Club, is an organization that promotes the development of skills in practical agriculture, as well as family and consumer science. It also promotes the expansion of leadership, potential, and citizenship through competitive achievement. The organization is composed of 4-H, FFA, and FCCLA. The Spring Livestock Show has provided students the opportunity to showcase skills and projects through competition for 73 years. It also provides the opportunity for students to receive scholarships. In fact, in the last 6 years, $48,650 in scholarships have been awarded to deserving seniors across the district. Last year, contributors brought in $105,306 through our live auction, silent auction, private sales, and add-ons. We would love to beat that number this year for our students. Disregard. I also want to mention a former member of this school board, Miss Jana Gonzalez, who has been a longtime supporter of the Spring Livestock Show and also serves on the CTE Advisory Board for the Agriculture Pathway. Our 2024 show is quickly approaching, and we would love to see you all there. April 11th through the 13th at Nagy Pavilion. The address for the show can be retrieved through Miss Musterman if you don't already have it. If you are able to make it out, please be sure to stop by the announcer stand and say hi. If you have any questions or would like more information, please feel free to reach out to Miss Musterman at Spring High School. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Musterman, did you stand when Ms. Musterman, please stand. Thank you. And so just like Layla said, this is a time for the students to really show off their projects, and 9 times out of 10 their projects are animals, but they also have different types of projects, whether it's baking goods, whether it's macrame, crocheted items, artwork. So we invite you to come out, as she said, especially on Saturday at noon for the auction. And all your contributions, which you can make by going to our website, springisd.org/stampede, all the contributions that you make there directly go back to our students. Our students will be earning scholarships, and they can put that towards their future college, or then reinvest it in their projects for the following year. So please come out and support our students. It is a great time of the year, and as you remember, several of our students also showed at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo and did really well. So just special thanks to our Tri-Club Advisory Board, our CTE Advisory Board, and CTE teachers that work day in and day out with our students. And then last but not least, just a quick announcement that our board meeting next month is going to be a little different. For those of you that may be new with us, we've been traditionally holding our May board meeting off-site. This year it will be at Decaney High School, and this is when we take the board actually takes special time to recognize and honor our students that have been recognized at the state and national level. And so we invite all of you all to come out to Decaney High School. It's going to be at the Star Theater on that Tuesday meeting, and it will begin at 7. And again, this gives our board the opportunity to personally recognize our talented students for their achievement. So we look forward to seeing everyone out there for our meeting, not here, but at Decaney High School. So, Ms. Durant, that concludes my announcements.
Thank you, Dr. Hinojosa, and I'm real excited to have you ladies here this evening. I look forward to that event. It's always very exciting, so thank you for being here.
And you know what? I'm just looking across. I see these amazing little arrangements from the students. Did you all want to tell us about the gifts? Who wants to come talk? Come on. We want to recognize you.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. Come on.
Hello again.
Hi.
Well, I just wanted to say that we made these in class for you guys. We chose the best flowers that we had, and I hope you all like them.
We do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's time for the wildflowers. I know a lot of people traveled for the eclipse yesterday, and everyone talked about the beautiful wildflowers they saw along the road. And that's what, when I looked up, I thought, oh, bluebonnets. So thank you for all that you do, girls, and we truly appreciate your gift.
Thank you. And now I'd like to recognize any of my colleagues who would have any remarks they'd like to make this evening.
Madam President, I had the opportunity to present at our Girls Empowerment seminar last month. And I think that may have been the largest crowd of girls that we had. We had fun. Dr. Hinojosa entertained us with her dancing skills on stage with the girls.
Wait, Miss Durant, you were up there dancing too with Dr. Jensen and Miss Correa. You all learned a new, or I learned a new dance, right? We learned how
We
to. What is
did.
it?
The
The swag surf.
Swag surf.
That's right, Dr. Jensen. She was doing it. But we had a wonderful time with the girls. And I had 3 classes of girls that we had fun. It was social and table etiquette. And the girls, they surprised me in what they knew already. But it was amazing at how interested they were in learning and the questions that they were asking about what do I do with this? Where does, which one of these is water? Which fork goes with what? And it was very entertaining. So hats off to the FACE committee, Family and Community Engagement. You guys did a wonderful job in putting that on. So thank you for our girls. Great job.
So I had the opportunity to attend our future educators signing ceremony, and I try to attend that every year. I don't think I've ever missed a year for that. That's, I think, a really important thing we do in spring is to grow our own teachers from the students in our classrooms. And to develop, at some point, a staff and faculty that is literally of this community. And they're teaching their own kids. And there was a young man who would have been a senior at my very first signing ceremony. Mr. Daniel Young was now a biology teacher at Dekaney High School, but he was at Westfield when he graduated, went off to UT, and lived some life and came back to teach biology to kids here in Spring High School and gave a powerful testimony as to why he does what he does and what teachers in this district poured into him. I think it was the most beautiful speech. And I wish I could bottle it and give it back to you, but that program where we are growing our own teachers and developing folks through our CTE pathway with Miss Williams and all the folks in the CTE pathway developing teachers in the district, it was just beautifully done. And I look forward to seeing more and more teachers, because I run into them all the time. Teachers that are former students, administrators that are former students of this district. And I think that's the thing that we do that's really wonderful.
Thank you, Trustee Hodges.
Thank you, Madam President. I have the opportunity to actually attend 2 events on Saturday. The first event, the Spring ISD, we partnered with Graceful Gowns Initiative, which is a nonprofit that I serve on the board, where we actually dressed 25 to 30 young ladies and gifted them with prom dresses, shoes, handbags, and jewelry. And it took place at the Family and Community Engagement Center. Is Trinita Carroll here? Hi, Ms. Carroll. I wanted to personally thank the Family Community Engagement Center, Trinita Carroll and her staff. They did an amazing job. This project actually came about because I had a sorority sister who did the program called Smart Girls, and she passed away in January from breast cancer. And so another friend of mine called and said, Kelly, there's still a need. We want to be able to do this program. And she said, maybe we can do it next year. And I said, no, we need to go ahead and do it this year because I'm sure there are some young ladies that need that support. And so in 2 months, she established a nonprofit. We got the 501c3, and I reached out to Dr. Hinojosa and asked if we could partner with Spring ISD and bring the program to our girls. And it was just an amazing event. If you have a chance, you can go to gracefulgowns.com or Graceful Gowns Initiative on social media platforms, and you can see the video. Thank you to the communications department. We had the social media person there as well. It was just an amazing event, but I never could have imagined being able to pull something together like that without the support of the family and community engagement staff. Those are some of the most creative women, and they took the vision that we had and brought it to fruition, and it was just amazing how we transformed that building into a boutique for the girls from the moment that they walked in. So thank you all so much, the department, for that. It was just amazing, and we're looking forward to raising more funds, donating more gowns, and doing more, reaching more young ladies next year when we have more time to plan and execute. But again, thank you to Ms. Carroll and her staff. They are just a great team. Also with that evening, we attended the Fallbrook Church, which is one of our community partners, their 30th church anniversary and the 30th pastoral anniversary at the Marriott Marquis downtown. And it was a nice event to be able to represent the school district, get all dressed up. So that was fun to be able to go and network and really have some visibility with our folks in the community. And as you know, Fallbrook Church is one of many of the churches in the community that wholeheartedly support Spring ISD. So it was nice for all of us to be in attendance and support them, and that's a huge milestone for any organization, and particularly a church that's serving the community. So those were two major events. So thank you. That's it.
Dr. Jensen?
As we all know, this is a very busy time of year where we get to recognize the accomplishments of our students. And I'm actually starting to recognize them at different events because some of the kids who are doing a wonderful thing in one area appear in another one. One thing is I was going to Spring High School to judge some capstone projects, and I chose the education and biology pathway to judge. And the next day we were at the education signing, and there were two of the education pathway people from Spring High School who were also getting, and they got scholarships. It was wonderful. Another thing is there was a wonderful event at Winchie High School, and students who already had applied and gotten accepted to U of H downtown were receiving $1,000 checks and other goodies for U of H. And I told the speaker that I think he delivered the most convincing, best recruitment speech that I've ever heard in my life. It made me want to go to U of H downtown.
Trustee Correa?
So, thank you, Ms. President. A few of us got to go to a conference over this weekend, and it amazes me to see how much Spring is doing in comparison to some of the other districts. So we go to some of these conferences, and it's just, wow, we are ahead of the curve in so many areas. But one of the things that I was kind of thinking about is just musings, and this is more has to do with the eclipse. And so for a lot of people, an event like that inspires a sense of awe. And it made me start thinking about when I was a kid and trying to apply that to education, that same sense of awe, it physiologically changes the brain and how it perceives the world. And so as educators, as you go into your classrooms and you're teaching all of these young minds, you know, keep in mind that that same sense of awe is what really truly affects our kids. And I thought back to when I was a kid, the different situations in the museums and field trips and things that just stuck in my mind. And it's that same sense of awe that really just keeps you wanting to know more and to come back for more. So I would just like to remind our people, just think about that the next time you might get frustrated with a student or you know, in a tough situation. You know, the kids need us, and when you can inspire that sense of awe and wonder, it completely can change the outlook of that child's future. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Correa. I also want to say we've been busy, so there've been some wonderful things going on in the district. I was fortunate to attend this capstone projects at Winchie, and I want to thank Dr. James for the warm welcome and what a great job our students did. There was a young man there who he's graduating, getting ready to go to college to be a dentist, and he's already achieved his he's a registered dental technician at Walgreens already, and he hasn't even graduated yet. He was just so impressive, and I was so excited to see how our students excel in so many different areas. That was really exciting, and I always get excited when students sign those letters that say, you know, they've been accepted to college in an educational pathway. And we also give them a letter of intent that upon graduation, you're guaranteed a job if you come back to Spring ISD. And to continue to see those numbers grow, and just to see, I don't know if you've seen it out on the website, just the beaming smiles on their faces, you know, as they sign those letters, and then to have a keynote speaker to say to them, I was sitting in your seat 6 years ago. Now I'm teaching in Spring ISD, and my letter is on the wall in my classroom. I want to go by his classroom and see that letter. You know, that's all inspiring. You know, so I'm just really excited about the things that we're doing here in Spring ISD and how we continue to do what's best for our scholars to make sure that their futures are bright. So thank you, everyone, for your feedback and your comments. So next coming up is another one of my favorite parts is Points of Pride. Before we get started, I started on the board in 2006 in November, and in May we had a board member that came on a few months ahead of me, and we served together for over 15 years, and she's here tonight because she's on the FFA board, and I'm going to ask our longtime board member, former board member, Jana Gonzalez, to please stand up and be recognized tonight. I miss you not sitting up here with me, but welcome. I'm glad you're here this evening. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with Points of Pride. And so at this time, I'd like to recognize our Director of Performing and Visual Arts, Dr. Joe Clark.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board. There we go. Thank you. I apologize. Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, and Dr. Hinojosa. We have another Spring ISD first that we're ready to share with you, and there's actually a twofer sale. But I want to get the director up here to shine a light on some students. So this is Chase Giddings, Director of Band at Duquesne High School.
Thank you, Dr. Clark. Good evening, board. It's great to stand in front of you again, second time in 2 months. So last month we talked about the All-State students for Spring ISD, and this month we're talking about another accomplishment. Recently, I think maybe a week after the board meeting, we went to Bastrop, Texas, to the UI All-State Chamber Music competition. And last year when we went, we placed third. And you think about three high schools, or the top three high schools out of how many high schools in the state of Texas. So this year, we decided to up it. So we placed second, and actually we missed goal by 1 point. The significance of that is really important because this event is a young event. It's 3 years old, and for the first 3 years of the event, there's only been one school district that is placed in the top three every single year, and that's Spring ISD. And then last year, or this year made it, there's only been one school to repeat as medalists, and that was Dekaney High School. And so while I represent Spring ISD and I represent our program and our school, I'd like to represent or recognize my colleague, Abraham Nunez, who is actually the Associate Band Director and a coach for the saxophone trio, who I'll now introduce to you. So you've seen them, you know them. Dr. Hinojosa calls them her sax trio, her sax ensemble. And so let me recognize them. Our soprano saxophone player, senior Diego Chapela Perez. Our alto saxophone player, our senior drum major, Angel Sanchez. And our bari sax player, senior Joshua Allen. And so I want to point out that this is, I hear Trustee Adams say this a lot, but this is your return on investment. This is the support that you pour into us and that you give us. This is what we do, not for any trivial thing, but this is what we do. And the kids and the directors sacrifice so much. Sometimes they don't leave the band hall until 9 p.m., which is about 8 hours after their colleagues have left the school. And they do it because they love it. And so this is a testament to them. It's a testament to the community. It's a testament to your support. And so I just wanted to recognize them and recognize my colleagues and present this to you. Thank you.
Wonderful. We're going to ask you to stay there. I'm going to ask my colleagues to kind of come down and join me in the horseshoe so we can congratulate you personally. We want to get a photo with you. We also want to get a picture with our reigning queens from the FFA as well.
You got somebody coming behind you. We got extra.
Next year you're gonna give me. Next year it's gonna be a gold, right? All right. Jim, can you get us lined up for a photo?
All right, guys, we're going to have you come on in here. There you go. There you go, right there.
I'll hold it for you, Mr.
And if we could have our Tri-Club Queen and Junior Princess, if you all will come forward so we can have your picture taken with our board. Am I next? Okay. Our teachers. Yes. Thank you, Ms. Durant. Thank you. So tonight, we're also highlighting the work of our award-winning Spring ISD Communications Department. The department recently won 33 star awards from the Texas School Public Relations Association for excellence in communications during the 22-23 school year. This year's awards include 2 Crystal Award Certificates of Merit, 1 for a video portfolio and 1 for a photography portfolio, and 4 Best of Category Awards. Along with the Crystal Award finalists, Spring ISD earned 20 Gold Stars, 11 Silver Stars, and 2 Bronze Stars. The department's winning projects were created to support a wide range of district programs, events, and special initiatives, including the Spring ISD's successful 2022 bond election, and to tell the stories of our incredible Spring ISD students. We're grateful for our communications department and all the work that they do to keep our community engaged and informed, to help make our programs and initiatives a success, and to celebrate the achievements of our students, our staff, and our schools. To Chief Strubart and his entire team, we thank you for all that you do to support our district and our students. And I know we have members of the communications team. If you all will come forward, we've got Ms. Butler. Sarah Butler is our Assistant Superintendent of Communications. We've got Kristen Cobb, who's our Director of Public Relations. We have Fabiola San Roman, Fabi San Roman, and Georgina, our graphic artist. And they went by without... I'm sorry. And I did not call Jim's name because you know he's always behind the camera, and I know his projects are some that were recognized. So we're going to ask our backup photographer, Mr. Binkley, to do the honors. Yes.
Making sure I can see everybody. Dr. H, I can't see you over there. All right. Jim, look at the camera. 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's do one more. I look like I know what I'm doing. All right, 3, 2, 1. There we go. I mean, I'll take that camera and go home. Take my job, I'll take yours.
And that comment is absolutely correct. That is our ROI, right? Our next item is agenda participation. Mr. Binkley, do we have anyone signed up for agenda participation?
Yes, Madam President, we have 2 speakers tonight. Before I invite our speakers to the podium, I do have a short statement to read. The board invites interested citizens to address the board regarding any item on tonight's agenda that they desire, other than allegations concerning the character or capability of any board member, staff member, citizen, or student of the district. The board will listen and will not interrupt unless the person addressing the board infringes on the guidelines as stated previously or exceeds the time limit authorized for the presentation. In this case, each of you will have 3 minutes to present. Mr. Sheffer will keep time, which will be displayed on the monitors. The board will not debate nor respond to any question during agenda participation. The board will seriously consider your input when addressing the items on tonight's agenda. Also, according to law, it is a criminal offense for a person to obstruct, prevent, interfere with, or disrupt a lawfully called meeting through physical action or verbal utterance. Citizens are requested to supplement any oral address to the board with a written summary of their presentation and any recommendations they may wish to suggest. Thank you for your concern regarding our school district, and we will hear you now. Our first speaker tonight is Paul Chabinski regarding the VATRE. Sir, you may approach the podium.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Paul Chabinski, appearing before you now as a proud member of currently chartering Spring AFT Local 6626, our district's union for teachers, paras, and other school staff. I've been volunteering to unite our district towards more student mastery for a few years here by helping the PAC supporting the recently passed bond and persuading voters at the polls, by volunteering to help bring about 40,000 books here through Reading Opens the World, and by ensuring, as building rep at Dekaney, that 100% of my campus union members signed in support of our charter campaign. Even through the adversity of the last legislative cycle and Governor Abbott's reactionary efforts to obstruct funding public schools, this board has typically given teachers raises over the last decade during every year except last year, and even recently supported legislation that would, if I recall correctly, put teacher salary raises on pace with inflation and the CPI annually. It can be achieved in another way. As the prospect of a voter-approved tax rate election has been in the air here and around the state, it would be best for the teachers and students that this board serves for us to work together to not only put a VATRE on the ballot, but also to use the revenue from the VATRE to lower our budget deficit and raise teacher salaries and other school staff salaries annually. We should also seek to reduce bloated central administrator salaries by more, not less, because those salaries have historically risen more than teacher pay in the past 40-plus years of neoliberalism. This board should counter those effects by investing that money on most of us that it employs. Many of the greater Houston area districts we compete with have passed VATREs, as Patrick, who's speaking after me, will attest to. Although we are federally recognized, we also have some of the less competitive salaries in the greater Houston area, as President Durant recently noted, so we really do need and deserve a raise. I believe this because my teaching and recommendation letters have played a role in securing full-ride scholarships to Trinity College and University of Georgia for 2 of my students, about a $370,000 total value, with 1 full-ride scholarship going to a student who is neurodiverse, and the whole 3 summer program offers from Rice, Brown, and Northeastern universities recently going to an AP student of mine. The ratings that have SCUDA accomplished on my appraisers' evaluations of my teaching in the past years have already come with a sizable return on the investment you've made in me, and I'm asking for you to increase for us. My teaching reflects this in turn as the 2 neurodiverse, the 3 general ed, and the 1 advanced placement English course that I teach all recently had students earning scores between 79 and 90%, meeting and exceeding district campus improvement plan goals of 80% scores. We've accomplished this even while studying our country's most historically distorted topics, the Civil War and Reconstruction. In addition to my work, I see ingenuity in other teachers around me. Miss Williams teaches science in my hallway, but she incorporates SEL, that's social emotional learning.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Patrick Fairbanks, also speaking regarding the VATRE. Mr. Fairbanks, you may approach the podium.
And now we move 3 minutes closer to the July 5th audit and August 19th ballot filing deadline. So Patrick Fairbanks here again on behalf of the soon-to-charter Spring AFT Local 6626, we're a union for teachers, paras, and other district professionals to come together, solve problems faced in our workplaces. So we need various school staff voices, so please come build solutions with us. Every day when I walk into work, etched into the digital background on my work computer are these words: every student, every teacher, every day. It doesn't say every student, every teacher when we have the budget. It doesn't say every central office worker every day. That credo is meant to convey this district's devotion to the 2 central figures in a school, the students and their teachers. I want to echo the very important points Paul just made about including a VATRE proposition on our November election ballot. If passed, the proposed voter-approved tax ratification election would raise property taxes in a district of majority commercial property by a mere 3 cents, resulting in an estimation of $10 million in annual revenue for Spring ISD. Think of all the good we could do with that money. It's about time the businesses that benefit from workers educated through our district pay their fair share back to the community. To keep teachers and staff in our district, we must stay competitive with wages. Every year our pay does not increase at least commensurate with inflation. We're actually taking a pay cut to continue working here. Combined with previous issues regarding incentive pay, retention bonuses, and veteran teacher compensation, it's no wonder we're hemorrhaging talented faculty and finding ourselves in increasing need of DOI employees and permanent substitutes. We cannot wait for relief from Governor Abbott or our state legislature openly hostile to public education because, frankly, it's not going to happen. If we want to avoid a state takeover like our neighbors to the south, we have to use every positive avenue for funding that we can to stay afloat. Despite this board's insistence, we don't need a survey to judge the popularity of a VATRE in spring. All the evidence we need is in our surrounding school districts. Here's some stats from 2023. Gonzales ISD and Arlington ISD supported a VATRE last year. Fort Bend ISD and Pearland ISD passed theirs with 58% approval. Lockhart ISD and Clear Creek passed theirs with 59% approval. Pflugerville passed theirs with 63% approval. Lago Vista ISD passed theirs with 72% approval. Round Rock ISD passed theirs with 74% approval. The people want to respect and support the teachers in their communities. Don't let this opportunity slip away. Complete the audit before July 5th and get that VATRE on our ballots by August 19th. The people of Spring will do the rest. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We have no further speakers tonight, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Binkley. Next on the agenda is public participation. Mr. Binkley, do we have anyone signed up for public participation?
No, Madam President, we do not.
Thank you. For our next item, I'd like to recognize our Chief Financial Officer, Ann Westbrooks. Okay, I'm sorry. I was like, we just saw Dr. Clark.
Yes.
You have another presentation. I thought it was a mistake, but it's not. I'd like to recognize our Director of Performing and Visual Arts, Dr. Joe Clark.
I was gonna say, I could just sit down.
No.
But very good to see you guys again. And we have another Spring ISD first. In fact, I had the same notes in here. We had a great collaboration project that we want to share with you guys tonight. And to present to you guys tonight is going to be who has spearheaded this in our Department for Performing Visual Arts, Johnny Williams. All right, Mr. Williams.
All right. Here we go.
Greetings, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Hinojosa. It is definitely a privilege to be able to stand here tonight and share a little bit about the My PVA Friends on Stage project. It's taken place over the course of this school year, and we want to recognize our teachers and students that have been doing a fantastic job. So I won't be here long. We'll show you a little bit of a preview of a video that we put together with some of the components from the project, and we'll hear a little bit from one of our teachers and one of our student participants. Just to give you a little background, this all started back in the fall of 2022 when we began exploring partnerships with United Sound and the Penguin Project with Dr. Andy Morgan. We had conversations, we found out as much as we could about those programs, what they did. We talked to some teachers in Dallas and San Antonio and Illinois and found out, how they operated the programs. And what we ultimately decided to do was combine some of the best components of both of those programs and put them together to see how we could best meet the needs of our kids right here in Spring ISD. And what we allowed to drive the scope of our project was feedback from our teachers. We surveyed, we talked with them, we met, and we let their input drive how we would go forward on the project. So starting this year, in the fall, we had planning meetings. Dr. Clark met with Dr. Edwards in the SPED department, and we began to kind of lay out how we would do the project over the course of the year. And the big decision was, as opposed to just doing one show, that our teachers wanted to highlight the regular work that they do with kids all year long. And PVA is not just inclusion in name only. Our kids, we include them in everything we do. So you'll hear them out there with the band. You'll see them on stage, in shows, and stuff like that. So we wanted to be able to highlight that today. So you'll see a brief preview of a film piece that we put together compiling some of the artifacts that teachers submitted from their experiences with the project. But tonight I want to let you hear from one of our teachers. She's the head director of theater at Westfield High School, Miss Monet Salone.
Greetings, Madam President and members of the board and Dr. Hinojosa. My name is Monet Wright Salone, and I'm the Director of Theater at Westfield High School. Our program was very happy and honored to participate in the My PVA Friends on Stage project this year. As a fine arts teacher, we see every day the impact that arts has on our kids. With regard to the My PVA Friends on Stage project, we watched as our PVA students developed and grew as mentors, coaches, and partners. We watched them display true compassion, patience, kindness to students with needs different from their own. We watched as our PVA friends with special needs experienced authentic joy, displayed courage, and grew more confident every day. In addition to learning some valuable and fun new skills, some of them found a new sense of purpose and self-worth. The arts are the reason why many of our kids come to school. It also gives them an opportunity to participate in activities that they might not otherwise get to experience due to stigmas and stereotypes about students with disabilities. That is the impact of this project. That is what motivates teachers to come to work every day and what makes a difference in the lives of our students every day. So we have put together a few snippets of our premiere video highlighting the successes of our students who participate in this year's PVA Friends on Stage project. Please enjoy.
Hi, my name is Terrence Harris, and I am a partner for the MyPVA Friends on Stage project. I'm in 12th grade, I'm in the spring band, and I play drum set.
Hi everyone, my name is Von Keith Lowry Jones. I'm from Spring High School and I'm in the 9th grade. I play drums with them sometimes. It was the fun thing of my lifetime.
It truly gave me joy seeing him have fun and him playing with us, and everybody has this energy and we're just having the best time of our life.
Hello, my name is Jemiah Glenn. I'm a senior at Annie DeCaney High School and I do theater.
Theater has opened my eyes. It has given me a new opportunity, new purpose of what I can do. I want to be the symbol to people who has disabilities that you could do this as well if you put your mind to it.
Hi, my name is Aaron Maya. I'm in 9th grade and I am in the theater program at Spring High School. It's great, really, you know? It's awesome, you know? You actually get to know what someone is on the inside and the outside, you know? It's helped me to like see how to express myself and really when to, you know? But also what to do if, you know, there's a times that I want to express myself outside of theater. We're great friends, you know? I trust them with not my life, but I trust them. They trust me. You know, it's a good relationship, you know?
So at this time, ladies and gentlemen, we have Aaron here from Spring High School. Before he comes up, I want to give a shout out to his teacher who couldn't be here, Miss Marilyn Ocker. But y'all put your hands together for Mr. Aaron Meyer.
Hola. It's cool if I just speak. Do I have to bend down or? Oh, great. Just to be clear, I'm still not giving my life for anybody here. Y'all could be my best friend. I ain't cutting my head off for nothing. It's great to be here in the district. Hi. Thanks for having me here. I just really think this is a great idea because it just, I don't know, I feel like anyone with my disabilities, I guess you could call them, should definitely try theater. You know, it's helped me a lot personally. You know, connect with people. Well, I have a script, doesn't look as good as his, but yeah. I just noticed it's right here. Why did I bring this up here? Anyways, yeah. I'm a freshman at Spring High School. I did write that song that you saw, so flex. I'm just cut to the chase. I couldn't imagine what my life would be like if it weren't for the theater program. I don't know if I'd be where I am right now if it weren't for those guys. It's definitely great. It's nice to have a friend group, someone and some people. Just be yourself around, at least a little bit. Because, let's be honest, we're theater kids. We're at least a little bit weird. Keep in mind how I've been entertaining the crowd for a while. I've been doing stand-up comedy just as a practice. So, rate me when I walk out the room. I'm kind of glad that I can go on a stage and perform for anyone because I like to show my talents to the world, saying, hey, look at me, I'm Sped. Oh yeah, and I write songs, just so we're clear, so... I feel like it's just a great way to actually see how I am and who I am. You know, it makes me feel like I'm me, not these labels that people say. You know, I don't really see myself as limited. Not the way other people see me. I see myself as excellent, so. Thank you, I wrote that myself. Anyways. you know, being part of the Spring Theater, it helps sharpen my skills because even though I am great, you can quote me on that, I am great. I'm not the best, but I don't know, I get better each day with these guys from the theater group, with this guy right here. Thanks for putting me on here. Appreciate it. With Alfred, the cameraman. Hi. And I'm glad that I can be here speaking all this to y'all. I guess I could just leave y'all with just some words from my father. Very smart man, conspiracy theorist, but very smart, don't get that wrong. He just said this to me a long time ago, I never forgot it. It doesn't matter how or where you start. It just matters how or where you finish, so no matter what life has dealt you, use what you got to get where you are. You'd be surprised how far you can go. Anyways, my name is Aaron Maya, and I'll see you all next time. Okay. Y'all give it up for Aaron Maya! My man, I want to acknowledge another one of our student participants is here. Stand up, Jeremiah. This is Mr. Jeremiah Glenn. He's at Dekaney High School. He's a theater student. And these kiddos, these are only two of our student participants. We had a number of them, but these kiddos actually participated in real shows. This has been life-changing for me personally. It's been definitely life-changing for our teachers. It's been eye-opening. And, you know, we just want to say thank you guys for pushing us to shine a light on our SPED students and being able to use what we have to impact these kids, because the work is very powerful. It's very important. And, you know, it's definitely an honor to have an opportunity to be a part of it. So May the 2nd, we'll be doing a celebration. We'll be giving these kids some awards. You'll get the chance to see the full video. And if you enjoyed tonight's preview, May 2nd will blow you away. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. This is just
I did not hear anything about an award, so I'm excited. Okay.
This is actually really rewarding. We talk about the return on the investment, and we do participate in a lot of conferences where we go and have an opportunity to learn new things. And Trustee Adams actually brought this program back, the Pilgrim program, back to the district. And what you all did to actually research and fine-tune and then pull together what fit best for Spring ISD and how far you've taken it, thank you. Thank you so much. And did you want to make any comments, Trustee Adams? Okay. Wonderful work. Thank you so much. Now for our next item, we'd like to recognize our Chief Financial Officer, Ann Westbrooks.
Good evening, President Durant, members of the board, and Dr. Hinojosa. This evening, we're bringing back for the board's consideration regarding conducting a community survey that will help with determining the feasibility of a VATRE or a voter-approved tax rate election. So we're asking the board this evening for next steps on whether we should or should not move forward with conducting the survey.
So at this time, I'll entertain a motion from the Board of Trustees to approve an authorization to conduct a survey to aid in the determining the feasibility of a voter-approved tax rate election.
President Durant, I move that the Board of Trustees approve the authorization to conduct a survey to aid in determining the feasibility of a voter-approved tax rate election.
Second.
It's been moved by Trustee McDaniel and seconded by Trustee Adams that the Board of Trustees approve an authorization to conduct a survey to aid in determining the feasibility of a voter-approved tax rate election. Is there any discussion?
I just had a question. Do we have an estimate of how long this survey will take?
Yes, ma'am. So we'll actually be able to bring forward, if the board chooses to move forward, we'd be able to bring those results to the May board meeting.
So that's plenty of time.
Yes,
before
definitely.
it has to go on the ballot.
Yes.
So thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Opposed? Any abstentions? That motion carries. Thank you. So our next item is a report out on our board committees. I'd like to go first, just talk a little bit about the board president cohort. Is a committee that I'm in the process of creating, working with the presidents from our various clubs and organizations. It all started, I was actually talking with the president from our choirs at Spring and Decaney, and those two young ladies impressed me so that I wanted to pull together all of the presidents from our various clubs to work with the president of the board and focus on leadership and developing them into great leaders and how we can support them and how they can better engage with the work that we do as a board. My vision is that each board member will have an opportunity to do some sort of a project or initiative with the presidents of our club to help grow and develop them into successful students. So more to come on that. Our next board is our audit committee, and so I'll now ask Trustee Newhouse if she has an update for the audit committee.
Madam President, I think a schedule has been sent to the board as to our timeline for our interviews and applications for our new internal auditor. There was a very nice reception for our previous internal auditor, Ms. Rios, so we are in the process of going through that timeline.
Thank
so
you.
We don't have anything at this time.
Okay. Thank you. Our next committee is our governance committee, and I'll turn it over to Trustee Kelly P. Hodges.
Thank you, Madam President. Hello again. The Governance Committee, we met on Monday, March the 20th. All of the members were in attendance. Myself, Trustee Adams, Trustee Jensen, Dr. Hinojosa, and Jeremy Brinkley. Just really quickly, the committee objectives are to review and edit local policies as needed locally or as required by laws. We also connect Spring ISD priorities to state and national legislative advocacy, and also celebrate Spring ISD employees who demonstrate extraordinary leadership. With that in mind, we reviewed a few of the policy updates. TASB 122, Mr. Brinkley presented that to the committee. Dr. Jensen also asked that the committee review the equity policy. The goal for that policy is to ensure that all policies have an equity lens. Dr. Hinojosa recommended that the Equity Committee review the current policy and provide recommendations to the Governance Committee for review. A couple of the advocacy updates. I reported that I had not reached out to Raise Your Hand Texas, but that's on my list to do for this month. So I will have a report about our collaborating with them to do some advocacy work this year as we prepare for the upcoming legislative session. I also talked about one of our community partners, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated Omicron Tau Omega chapter, will host an advocacy event in October. The organization is hosting a nonpartisan event, Know Your Ballot Before You Soar to the Polls. And so this event is going to take place via Zoom. Dr. Hinojosa approved for Spring ISD to support this initiative. And so the district will help promote in the community to make sure we get the word out about the event and have folks log on and be able to find out things that they can do to prepare to become an informed voter. And most importantly, the goal of the event is to help individuals prepare their and review their sample ballots, because a lot of times individuals go to the polls and they get in front of the machine and they don't really know the individuals who they are asked to vote for. So this particular forum is going to help the community prepare for that. Also, the committee was asked to submit any action items and also to keep the committee informed on legislative issues and things that impact our community. And the meeting was adjourned around 6:30 p.m. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Hodges. Our next committee report is our Board Equity Committee, and I'll turn it over to Trustee McDaniel.
Thank you, President Durant. Our committee met on Monday, April 1st, and we, as we discussed previously, are having sort of a two-pronged effort in how we're moving forward. So the first piece with our high leverage recommendations from the equity study, we're moving through piece by piece to determine what data we'll use to finalize, or what data we will utilize to track our impacts for each of those indicators. And so Dr. Ivory brought back to us a continuation on the first piece with SEL. And so we took a look at T-tests, and she identified some other elements from T-tests that do align with SEL that are already being tracked. And so that's a piece that we're looking to create somewhat of a equity scorecard. It's just a draft. And in our book study, we want to make sure that we're careful not to work in silos with equity. That's one of a common trope, as they say in our book. And so we're going to definitely make sure to share that. But the biggest piece about that is making sure that equity does not become a checklist. Mm-hmm. We want to, everything can't always be so beautifully packaged and quantifiable, but in an effort for us to track, we do have to use something. So excited to share that draft scorecard with you all. And so we'll move on to the second piece next month, or the second recommendation, which is SELPD. And that'll be next month. On the leg where we're discussing our monthly, just touching base on our different monthly topics, it was around emerging bilingual students. And so we took a deep dive with Miss Letty Huck. I'm saying that correctly, right? Hoke, Miss Hoke. Sorry about that. Is she here with us this evening? There she is back there. Yes, she gave us a wonderful presentation on the professional development that's happening. There are newcomer summits that our students who are coming from different countries are getting acclimated and getting additional supports from our district. The multilingual department is pushing in and supporting schools. So all of the reports that Dr. Hoke provided us are in the board update as well. And if anybody else wants to jump in, feel free. And of course, we are continuing on in our book study with street data. So that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee McDaniel, and thank you for including all of that information in the board update. I actually had an opportunity to read through all of it, and so great work. Our next update would be from our Board Data Analysis Committee, and I'll now recognize Dr. Jensen.
Thank you. We met on Monday, March 25th, and present were our Trustee Carrera and Trustee McDaniel, also Dr. Pariseau, and last but not least, Dr. H. And we had a surprise visitor who really was probably where we spent most of the time. Is it Dr. Peters? Oh, Mr. Peters, okay. We have the task in this meeting is to choose the likely data that we can actually act on in our district and bring forward that this is something that is an area of need. And Mr. Peters brought forward a dashboard that's available to our personnel in the district that is absolutely amazing. It's not just charts, it's not just graphs, it's geographical information, and I think do you agree, trustees, that we were just absolutely blown away by this wealth of data? And I provided our trustees some old school transparencies that I got from a variety of areas, not just TEA, but also the U.S. government and their reports on Spring ISD, where what I like about transparencies is I can flip around like cards and hold them up and see where the relationships are. So what we're doing right now is there is so much data out there. We are trying to sift through it and see, okay, now this is what's important. So that's where we're going for our next meeting.
Thank you, and I'd like to thank you, Dr. Jensen, for that update, and I'd like to let the rest of the board know that we all do have access to the dashboard she referenced. It was down for a minute. I think we're working on getting it back up, and
Yes, President Durant, we are working on a VPN, a virtual private network. So some of our security features are about limiting in and out of data from the district, and specifically since that data does deal with students and information, we want to make sure that's secure. So each of the board members will be getting VPN access accessible via your district issued laptop. So you'll be able to access the dashboards whether you're here in district or at home.
perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jensen. Thank you, everyone, for those updates. Our next item is the consent agenda, and so I'll entertain a motion to approve and adopt the items on tonight's consent agenda.
President Durant, I move that the Board of Trustees approve and adopt all of the items listed on the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved by Trustee McDaniel and seconded by Trustee Correa that the board approve and adopt all the items listed on tonight's consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. That motion carries unanimously. Thank you. So the Board of Trustees will now recess this open session and convene in a closed meeting in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Section 551.071, 551.072, and 551.074. No voting will take place in the closed meeting. Any action the board wishes to take as a result of the discussion in the closed meeting will take place after the board reconvenes into open session. The time is now 8:19 p.m. You ready? Okay. We will now reconvene and resume the regular board meeting of the Board of Trustees. The time is now 9:51 p.m. We'll now address the items discussed during closed session. Are there any motions?
President Durant, I move that the board approve the resolution and release agreement with Joseph Simmons as discussed in closed session.
I need a second.
I second the motion.
It's been moved by trustee McDaniels and seconded by trustee Jensen that the board approve the resolution and release agreement with Joseph Simmons as discussed in closed session. Is there any additional discussion or questions? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Opposed? The vote is 4-3. The motion carries. Seeing there's no additional items on tonight's agenda, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam President, I move that we adjourn our meeting for tonight.
Second.
Second.
It's been moved by trustee Newhouse and seconded by trustee Correa that we adjourn tonight's meeting. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. That motion carries unanimously. Tonight's meeting adjourns at 9:52 p.m.